You're watching PowerNation.
Today on Detroit Muscle, we've got our Procharged Charger on the rollers to see what kind of power it's going to make. Then we'll be taking it back to the shop, upgrading the brakes and the traction, and hitting the track. Well, when we got this 2019 Charger in the shop, it already had a lot of things to like. It has the iconic aggressive Mopar stance, slick body lines, and the reason you're probably watching, that legendary Hemi power. On the dyno, our Charger made 345 horsepower to the wheels, but we're really looking to take it up a notch. So we installed a Supercharger to see if we could fit a couple more ponies into its power output. We installed this Procharger kit that we picked up at Summit Racing. At 7 PSI, it is rated to add up to 160 horsepower over stock on 93 octane. This Go Fast kit came with everything we needed, including a high-performance intercooler and all the bracketry for a straightforward installation. We also slapped on an oversized intake system to make sure our Supercharger is getting enough air to breathe. All these parts together put us one step closer to getting true street performance out of this Mopar muscle car. We've bolted on some pretty good upgrades to this Charger, and today is the day we finally hear it run. But first, we want to see how much power we have actually added, so we need to crunch the numbers, and you know what that means. We're down here in Engine Power shop to chassis dyno the Charger. If you can remember, we added a new Procharger as well as an X-Mod exhaust, and we're going to see what kind of numbers it's going to make.
Yeah, if I remember right, this thing made around 345 last time.
Yeah, which
right?
was impressive right off the bat stock. So I'm really curious to see what it's going to do now that we got some more juice flowing into it.
Yeah, so this kit is what, 6, 7 PSI probably, something in there?
something around that.
Okay,
I think
so
about 7.
Should be pretty impressive.
I mean, that seat. Let's make some.
We'll turn the fans on and make a rip.
Enough talking about it.
Okay.
Did you get the Plymouth vent?
Nope.
I can't reach the pedals, Dad.
Yeah, Andre the Giant's been driving the car.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, so you remember how to do this?
Yep. Go to manual, release brake.
Yep.
Yep.
Release my foot off the brake.
Yep. Make sure it's in sport mode, traction controls off.
Yes. Okay, yeah, remember, just don't touch the brake. When you want to start, you roll it up to about 2,500, green light, flat-footed. I mean, I want you to put a dent in the floor there.
Run this thing up, just run it right up to the, when you start hitting the rev limiter, hit the green button and
Scratch the bottom of the firewall.
That's right.
Exactly. Hold, your foot should be on the ground outside the car, so.
Yep, so yeah, so run up to the rev limiter and we'll see what she makes.
Yeah.
We're going to yabba dabba do it.
What gear is it going to be in?
Yeah. Give me in 4th.
Yeah.
Okay.
About 2,500.
Glad the door's locked.
That's perfect.
That's a nice right there. 472 at the wheel.
And 443 pound-feet,
So
which
that's
insane.
130 we gained on it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, from where we were in the 340s before, right? So that's a nice little gain right there. Everything sounded good. Went right through the pole really nicely. So
that is, that's large gains. That's effectively was 130 horse, and I'd call that 74 pound-feet. I mean, that 74 pound-feet's pretty big for bolt-ons.
And that install is 8 hours in your garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
and
there's
you didn't have to like, you're not tearing the engine down
Right.
or anything like that.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just bolting onto
you
the
don't
stock
have to change
stuff.
anything about the motor other than having the computer unlocked and flashed.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
go ahead and
yeah.
do another one. We'll see what
back
it
it
looks
up.
like. We'll back it up.
Third gear. Fourth gear. Got it on that one.
All right, that was good. That was 476.
Yep, 476.9 and 444 pound-feet. So this thing's effectively printing numbers at this point, which is
Right.
great because all the temperatures are stabilized and everything. But I mean, looking at what we have off the OBD2 port, it's in the 5.8 PSI range, 5.8 to 6 PSI, which
Yeah.
is perfect. And you know, you lose a little bit through the blower, but not much. So it's actually making exactly what it should
That's
for power.
right.
Yeah.
That pump loss you were talking about. Because
Yeah.
You're having to spin.
Yeah, so if you add 7 PSI, it should be 1.5 times the power, right?
Right.
But we're gonna lose a little bit to the blower, so it's actually perfectly in that range. It's making exactly what it's supposed to, which is great because it means everything's right in the engine, everything's right in the tune-up. You know, the tune file they put in is perfect.
The install was right,
Yeah.
the tune's right, and I mean, remember, this thing's running on pump gas and it's a street car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so but it's nice and safe and everything.
yeah, no, this is very, very nicely done.
Yeah, this thing's gonna be a totally different car to drive.
Yeah, no, it's,
I mean,
I think you're going to notice the difference.
Yeah.
I'd say it definitely feels a little more awake,
yeah, I
Yeah.
bet.
which it was
Well-
already a heck of a car before, but
Yeah, I mean, this thing's
it's a heck and a half now.
it's gonna be a rocket ship for whoever gets it. you
Yeah,
know?
man.
It's gonna be awesome.
All right, like I like to say, nice hustle.
Yeah.
Nice hustle. Having brakes strong enough to stop this car is a special feat, and we've got them coming up next. Welcome back to the shop. We've got a few more things we got to finish up before we're ready to let loose in our modern Mopar, starting off with these big EBC brakes. EBC sent over their 3D scanner and gave us the opportunity to add some serious stopping power to our car. And after calibrating, all we had to do was place a few targets, run the program, and we had our 3D model. We could send it back to EBC to work their magic. So the reason we were scanning these brakes is this is the first kit made for the 2019 Charger RT. Now it uses their universal Apollo series calipers that come in a 6 and 4 piston configuration. Now what the scan data did give us is this hat is specifically machined for the caliper offset on this make and model. If you'll notice, there's a difference between the front as well as the rear. Since the Apollo series is universal, EBC designs and makes a bracket to locate their caliper on whatever vehicle it's going to be installed on. Now it's time to get these stock brakes off and this new big brake kit from EBC on the car. Well, these new rotors are massive, and you can really tell the difference when you hold the stock one up against it. There's about an inch all the way around. And with this dust shield having a lip on it that fits on the outside, I think we're gonna run into some clearance issues when I try to fit it up. Yeah, just what I thought. Yep, it's gonna be hitting, so we're gonna have to get that dust shield out of the way. Yep, that looks a lot better. All we got left to do is get the caliper bracket on. Now that that's all done, I'm gonna throw a couple of lug nuts on here to hold this in place while I put together our calipers. Now, EBC offers a variety of high-quality made pads, anywhere from stock replacement up to race performance. And on these Apollo series calipers, they're super easy to install. Take your retaining clip, it pops down in the bottom. One pad goes in. Then the other one, and done. It's ready to go in the car. Well, when EBC machined these hats for our two-piece rotors, they included the drum so that we can retain our factory parking brake. Now we can just slide our caliper into place. Every EBC caliper comes with a certificate of authenticity with its own serial number, the color, and who manufactured it. Well, we're going to be running a set of 20-inch Hellcat replica wheels wrapped in General G-Max AS07 all-season tires we got from Continental. Now, these tires are great for any road condition as well as performance handling on the track and the street. The asymmetrical tread pattern, strong center rib, and wide outboard tread blocks on these tires allow for year-round grip, better steering, handling of corners, and tough road conditions. Well, with this side finished up, I can go ahead and knock out the other side. Then we've got a couple more maintenance items we need to address, and this car will be ready to roll the roads.
Coming up, we'll clean up the air and give this Charger the power it needs. Whenever we were installing that Supercharger, well, we noticed one thing. Our battery that came in this car was the original, and with it being a 19, it's basically aged out. So we're needing to do some maintenance, if you will. So what we've done is got a Duralast Platinum AGM battery that we found at the AutoZone Pro website. Now, whenever you're disconnecting a battery, it's crucial that you make sure to disconnect the negative battery cable first, then the positive. You also want to check for corrosion. If you find any of that stuff, you need to clean everything. And what you want to use is some baking soda and water, and that's pretty much all you really need. On your battery cables, it's also a good idea to clean them, the inside of them. All you need is a little battery wire brush. What you do is just stick that in there, twist it around a couple of times, and that brightens everything up. I also prefer to just go ahead and give a quick spin around the battery. I know it's brand new, but it doesn't take much effort at all to get everything cleaned up. It's also a good idea to use a little bit of dielectric grease here on your connections. That helps to cut down on corrosion and makes that joint kind of clean for a longer amount of time. Now with this battery, it's gonna be kind of a heavy thing, but all we gotta do is set it off in here. Another little tip for you, this thing's kind of heavy. Make sure that you have the orientation right. Positive on the positive side, negative on the negative side. You don't wanna drop it in there and then have to pick it back up. One of the last things that we want to do before we go have a bit of fun in our newly supercharged Hemi is swap out the cabin air filter with this one that we got from Wix. That's their XP. The reason for it, these things oftentimes are a bit neglected. You'll see that this one's got some black looking stuff on it, and usually that's mold. And that translates through the inside of the car. The cabin filter is known to filter out allergens like pollen and dust and so on, and having a new cabin air filter can also help make the air conditioner work far more efficiently. To install this, it's super easy, but there is a direction, and all you need to do is follow the instructions. And you just simply slide this thing into its slot. Then put on your little fancy cover. I grabbed our old parking light housings out of our GTO, and I'm going to give them a quick refurbish. We also picked up some new lenses from OPGI, and you know, sometimes whenever you have your old parts, you may not think they're not all that bad until you compare them to some new ones. Now what we're going to do here is disassemble this thing, take it, put it in a sandblaster, and then splash on some new color, some new parts. It's going to make these look like $1 million. Now all this stuff was kind of a few different colors. The exterior of this had a galvanized style coating on it. Inside of this thing was bright silver, and that bracket, I believe it was a satin black. So we're going to try to replicate as much as that as possible. When I blasted this piece, I just kind of dusted it. So to keep this from corroding, I'm going to use a satin clear, and then the right colors on these other two. Let's just slap these things together, see what it's gonna look like. Now this panel here that I removed, I actually got to do a little body work and paint this because it goes body color. I got a new bulb. I don't want to slide in here. This week. You can definitely tell that we've made a dramatic improvement. Now once I get these other parts finished up, man, it's gonna look nice.
Well, if you want to retain the classic look but have the conveniences of modern technology, the Nu-Relics power windows may be an option for you. They include a durable regulator, a heavy-duty lift assembly, as well as all the wiring you're going to need for installation. They've got a variety of switches, but the one we're going to be going with is the crank style. We want to retain our factory crank handles. Well, if you're looking to upgrade your classic car or hot rod, check out Nu-Relics and find a kit for your pride and joy.
You thawed out yet? Hey guys, we're here at the Polecat Training Center, and I guess you could say we're gonna have a little bit of fun today. We put that charger together and we're about to put it through its paces. Now we've done several upgrades with new suspension, wheels, tires, plus you gotta remember that big Procharger. And we're gonna see what all those goodies are gonna do on the track. Now you wanna drive first?
Sounds like it's already on the track.
I don't guess neither one of us get to be first.
Sounds good. Looks good.
I'm just jealous that I'm not sitting there.
I know. I think it's my turn.
Go speed racer, go speed racer, go speed racer, go! Woohoo! Turn her into the ditch!
Straddling the white line, but we won't judge him.
Sounded like he had a good time. Won't kill his fun. Woo! I think sounds good.
Woo! Did you break a sweat?
Almost too much fun, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, you ain't gonna break a sweat out here, buddy.
Right,
Yeah,
it's a little
it's
cool
frosty.
today.
But she's running good, though. You guys built yourself one heck of a unit.
I think it's definitely my turn. I'm gonna go grab my helmet from the clubhouse.
Don't hurt yourself.
Bless his heart. I think he's excited though.
Looks like it.
Now, I know you've already sat down in the seat once or twice this wonderful day. What did you find the most exhilarating?
Well, one thing I'll tell you for sure on this track, there's a couple of good straightaways, but you are immediately into the brakes because you got a couple of hairpin turns that you got to really ease into, and then you're back into the throttle around turn 6 or so. Easy to get lost in the scenery because you got all these trees and bushes and even a few cows flowing by you. But you know, once you get concentrated and you get comfortable with the track, it's actually a really nice setup.
Yeah, I know it sounds like he's just playing around, but at the same time, that's what's great about these cars.
Right?
Plus, they move. You know what I mean?
That was a good pass.
I don't know about you, but me listening to that car making weird, like squeaky noises on and off in my head, I'm seeing him go like, oh, gee, oh God.
Brake, gas, brake, gas, brake, gas, gas. Oh God.
But, you know, he ain't doing nothing. He's not really putting that car through anything it can't handle. Only problem I see right now, I'm not driving it or you're not driving it.
Yeah, that's okay. You gotta let him branch out on his own. You know, they grow up fast, and next thing you know, they're out of the house, and then you just don't see them anymore. It's like a bad episode of Cats in the Cradle.
Dude, you're thinking way deeper.
I know,
This is
man.
a
I've gone through some
racetrack.
stuff. It's all right.
Jeez.
It must have been my injury. You know, been out of the game for about 3 months, but
I haven't missed you. Yeah, whenever we were putting this car together, we knew we were starting with a lot of car to begin with. So in a way, you sit back and you go, how can you make that better? Well, obviously, you need more power. And whenever it comes with that more power, well, usually you're gonna need some more brakes to it. And the brake set that we put on there is one heck of a unit, man. It's whenever you come to a track like this and you're pushing it, man, that thing will take it for hours on end.
and it don't take long for them to get warmed up on this track.
Yeah, yeah. I still gotta look, he's coming in hot. That car looks good going fast, man, it really does.
I don't know how you can tell because it's just like, phew, and it's gone.
Did he bring a change of clothes?
How was it, buddy?
Oh, that's fun. That's
Yeah?
too much fun.
Well, I'm gonna let y'all stand here and watch me do my thing.
Yeah, come season veteran.
Helmet's in there.
You got your AARP card, right?
What's that supposed to be?
I hope he brought his button.
Yeah. Help, I've ran it off the track and I can't get out.
Yeah. Well, let him have his fun. I say me and you go in the clubhouse, get us a cup of coffee and stay warm.
Yeah. I'd imagine he's gonna be out there a while.
Oh yeah, like a kid in a candy shop.